Welcome to the Daily Dev Talk with me, Adrian Nantchev, where we explore and share stories of the best game you can. Stay tuned for today's episode. Good morning, Overload Nation. Adrian here, and I'm talking with Sean Hogan from Anodyne. Sean, what can you tell us about yourself first?
Right now I'm a game developer / composer and right in near the end of working on a new game called Even the Ocean, came out a few years ago.
So how long have you been in the games industry?
So I'm not sure when I entered the industry, so to speak, but I started working on games about 4 years ago and released about 2.5 years ago. So I'd say maybe like 3 to 4 years in the industry, although not really.
So purely independent and creating the games you want to create in your own time.
Yeah.
Ah, beautiful. And so the latest game, what can you tell us about that game?
So Anodyne it's like a 2D Zelda-like game, sort of with a character named Young, and it's sort of this like surreal dreamscape that you're exploring through, kind of just playing through this overarching plot, Awakening, and other Game Boy Color Zelda games.
Yeah, when was and what was happening in the plot, then questions that were actually answered. So it's like at the start, what's going off? You're saying you're about a platform and walking along, and then there's this sage character, and they're saying, "Oh, you're finally awake." Oh, no, I mean, you're here, good. And room, and you get to pick up dust. So that's a little unusual. So yeah, I really felt that that Game Boy-esque resolution on the screen. So what was it you were aiming for the player to experience in the first 18 minutes of the game?
First 8. Some things I've forgotten since it was released like so long ago, 2 years, but I believe that one of the first things we were a sense of mystery in like an abstract environment, a sense of familiarity with the controls, so sort of movement works. So mostly that sense of mystery that progresses from sort of those abstract, like floating set of spaces, which are like the temple areas and then the fields. So we want a kind of a sense of familiarity with the areas we were in.
Yeah, I know what you mean. In the temple, it's a little random almost, and but when you're in the temple, it's a little more structured, like more dungeon-esque structured.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, you know, houses that come out every now and then. So yeah, I understand, but at the same time, I felt that mystery as well. Like, who am I?
Yeah.
What's going on? Character and all the rest. But it was just like mystery about everything.
There's a lot of mystery, and a lot of it doesn't end up explained long ago, and there's lots of issues, but it's still worthwhile, I think.
Alright then. So what was the one big...
Sort of how to manage scale of a big game. I say that in this game we're working on now is run into over. Yeah, so one of the main things is project management, which is if you want to make a large game, it's important. Joni, how to discuss things with them. And I think one of the largest benefits from tools when developing a game, so for Even the Ocean, I wrote my own editor for the game, so you can edit levels, and it makes development a lot faster. And of course, there's a lot of like theory stuff with game design in terms of how to pace out a game, and then there's also some like design lessons. A lot of things I could talk about. There's actually Steve does the failings of the game and how we're improving on them with Even the Ocean. But yeah, a lot of things, a lot of game design.
Oh yeah, I see. Everything is always learning. Everything is always about always learning and improving. So in 10 years from now, you look back and think a lot different today.
Yeah. But then you work on it in the present, and it's okay.
Yes. And what was your light bulb moment to PC?
For Anodyne, I see Joni's art or writing for the first time in the game, working with the music. That's okay. Well, this is pretty good, so I should go ahead and finish the rest of the game. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, once you kind of see an entire area in action, so to speak.
Yeah, I can see that you think. Having placeholders is just not the same, don't you think, Sean?
Oh, so having played Zelda? Having played what? I did not get the word after the...
No, placeholders. Having placeholders in the game isn't the same as having the final art.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, you can, interactions with the environment, but as far as the game and the whole package, you can't really... You can kind of guess at it, but it's...
Mm-hmm. So, I'm interested, Sean, what was the worst moment while working on the game? Whether it was something?
Well, during the main development of the PC version, I was still in school. So, at the end of 2012, I was still in school at stuff to manage at once. That kind of sucked. Release was stressful. Managing, emailing the press, most versions was horrible. A giant nightmare. So I would say those are probably the three main things. Kind of the development were a pain in the ass. Marketing stuff when that came to a head. And then
coordination and compliance are probably some nightmares of yours. So what was the luckiest moment in
meeting Joni? So I met them online through a high school friend of mine, and it was really good. So then, I hired them. Not hired them, but decided to work with them. I mean, it wasn't a company yet together. And the second luckiest thing, of course, is the release. A lot of press from that. We also got onto Steam through Greenlight when Steam was still very important. So that helped us. And then there was also getting into the addition to meeting Joni, which was a good team member.
Yes, I can understand. That's a perfect storm. What is the best game dev advice you've ever received?
I'm trying to think back a few years, because I haven't really received any advice nowadays. I mostly kind of just do my own thing. And now that I think about it, maybe read books and write. I don't mean books about games. I mean, it's sort of gathered over a while and confirmed through experience, which is basically do things that aren't related to games, or work in other mediums, or go outside, work at a job, talk to people. So that's to make interesting and relevant games. You should probably not look to a medium that has traditional insight. Although, of course, you should still look at games from a mechanical perspective, because there are a lot of games that are pretty I think the path is pretty clear on how to make things like that. It's just play a lot of them and start just looking into other mediums or just doing other things in life is a good idea, I think.
Then it's a proof of concept that it does work, and here's an example of how it is executed and how it works. Do it your own way. Rather than doing it other person's and just seeing it, you're doing it your way. So you want to change X, Y, Z.
Sort of. If it's that to make a game, well, this isn't true, but to make some games, or say to make a game like Even the Ocean or Anodyne, you have to be very the medium, and have looked at designs of old things. This isn't to say that to make a good game you have to do this, but have played a lot of other games. But if you're doing something like Even the Ocean, where you kind of want to have this more reflective of real life architecture or natural environments, then you might want to have a good eye for real life. If you want to write about people who seem real, you would probably want to read a lot of books or talk to a lot of people. And if you want to talk about people, and traditionally that's harder to do if you're playing a lot of Zelda games that don't usually deal with
architecture. I know what you mean. I think at the same time to look at examples of games, but also to look at architecture and psychology, which I find also play a big part in the construction of games and the level design.
Right.
Each field, each science, for colour theory, affects level colour, for example, in the environment. Psychology can affect the story, can affect the art style the game is going for. All these other things that you look outside of the games, but influences that make the...
You want to have a grip of so many different things so that, our medium is, but games in particular, that studying anything really helps. Like, you can, a concrete statement I just made. But yeah, like architecture and psychology and stuff like that can be useful.
Or lecture or learning resource that you can recommend?
Not really any resources. I can definitely recommend joining a community online is good. Just a place where you can post your in-progress work and get feedback. Really helped with Anodyne and even the Ocean and other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any in particular that you can recommend?
One main thing is this thing called Brain Gale. I can spell it's just brain and then Gale as in Gale. And they have a public forum, and there's a lot of talented artists and game designers there. For anyone listening, there's also TigSource, which is a little less friendly, but there's a lot more people that go there. You'll hear Turkish, but their devlog subforum is a pretty good place to post work, I think. I mean, we keep an updated devlog on
Brain Gale and what was the other one?
TigSource.
TigSource.
The independent game. Oh man, I don't even know what it stands for.
TigSource. Very nice. And like an Evernote or a Trello, do you have a extension worth sharing?
So we used Trello for Anodyne, but we quit it because it was kind of just. Now, I would just say it depends really who you're working with, how many people. For a two-people team, and Google Docs, and occasionally chat. So chat is usually for like disasters, like some Google Docs is more for organization and reference, so sort of like area concepts or bug lists or features that I need to program. And email, that's all the productivity tools we really use. Dropbox. I know Joni uses, it's like a timer thing where you do work for 25 minutes, then you take a break, and you work for 25 minutes, then you take a break.
Oh yes, I heard of that.
I really need to, but it helps Joni from what I hear. And that's about it.
Yes, it depends on who, or too short for some tasks,
yeah.
or it just doesn't work. It's not my kind of the work. I'm in the mind zone for it, and then do it and get it all done, and plenty of boxes ticked. Otherwise, it's not the same. And I find that if you're not in the good quality, and you may have to do it again.
Yeah. It's a lot of like personal. Like I'm more, like sometimes I'll force myself. Things I would recommend. Productivity tool, standing desk. I don't know. I like to stand.
Standing desk as opposed to like when you sit at.
Yeah. Well, my standing desk is just a small end table.
Is that what you're using now?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Cool. I heard about those and how they're better for the posture and the blood circulation. I heard that after 30 minutes, the blood circulation to the legs isn't as there's not. Have you heard this is
sitting?
This is what? Yes.
Yeah, I hear. I don't know. There's been like studies about sitting, but I stand for the health reasons, which a lot of it is just. It's really hard for me to get like. It just feels better after a while. It also sit and. It's also easier for. It's better for. My neck doesn't hurt as fast because I can get the. I could do that with a desk, but it's just easier this way.
Have you heard about the
that sort of thing, or space, because I work in my apartment.
Now that, in my opinion, sounds very crazy at the same time as unusual. Yeah, exactly.
Or something.
Yeah, and you'd have to get the speed just right, because no way it'll be easy to keep walking at a constant speed.
It's like a customer service person, like making phone calls. That would be easier, but
opposed to sitting, and especially opposed to the walking one.
Yeah,
and
walking sounds really bad. Running desk, however.
Stick to sitting and standing for now. And I'm also curious, Sean, if you were in an identical world, how different would this game be, and why?
Which game? And same because our food and shelter were taken care of at the time because we were in school. So it would be the ocean. Now I'm actually having to pay stuff myself. I probably wouldn't feel as worried about the marketing, and so I'd have a lot of marketing releasing the game, that sort of deal.
Why worried about marketing?
Much money, might have to get a side job.
But then wouldn't surely that, if the game itself is a good quality, marketing done for you, just introduce a bit of principles like viral marketing and content marketing, and then generally that's it.
Like a lot better than many games. Even the ocean. Like it's kind of like a really strange level. But I mean, at the same time, it's hard not to worry because you hear like all these horror stories of other games not doing well. But then again, sometimes they are not very good. I don't know. I mean, it should be okay in theory, but it's hard to tell. But I mean, I definitely wouldn't be worrying about that if I had I'd be like, oh well, I don't really care.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And while working on Anodyne, whether it was a software license or getting top quality equipment.
Anodyne. What did I buy during Anodyne? Anything. 401k. No. Oh wait, it's. Are you in the U.S. right now or the UK?
UK.
Yeah, okay. That's one of the best things I bought. No, I don't know. During Anodyne, so that was during school, so I didn't really buy much. I did get a new laptop throughout Even the Ocean as well. For Even the Ocean, the most important thing I've purchased is ergonomic stuff I have. So the standing desk, I use a trackball mouse, so I don't have to move my wrists and and that really helps with typing. And then what else did I get? We're working at a computer, and those really help with wrist strain. So I would probably say the most important purchases I've made through development are definitely the stuff.
Tell me about the mouse, the trackable mouse. You say?
Yeah, so I can. It's this, like this, and looks like that. So you don't.
So it's.
So you don't have to move your wrist, and it doesn't hurt.
I get it. Interesting.
Yeah.
And how different is an ergonomic keyboard as opposed to a normal QWERTY keyboard? I imagine it's curved and
it's a little bit
soft.
Turn it like this, so that your wrists are kind of like rotated and
free
outwards. Your hands aren't really stretching as far, and it just feels a lot better. And I program a lot, so it's valuable.
Time, certainly, and especially over time, these things make it more comfortable and less painful.
Right.
Especially when you're working on the game for 2 years?
It's definitely in total, I think these things cost like $100 to go into the hospital and getting wrists cut up on. It's a lot better than that. Or not being able to work here.
But there's the value, the long-term value you're getting out of that $100.
Right. It's like health insurance.
Yeah, I get what you mean, exactly. Well, Sean, it was very nice talking to you.
Yep.
I've got a few things to learn from. And I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Sounds good.
See you on the flip side.
Thank you. Bye.
Adrian Nantchev. If you are a game developer that wants to get your name and game out there and to share your experiences and stories, then contact me at overload.co.uk. Stay tuned for tomorrow's episode.